Welcome. You're tuned into Life is a Sacred Journey. Every week, we bring a new perspective to aging and caregiving. Here is your host, Micheal'S.
Good morning. I did this. I have an appointment later this morning, so I am actually here in my home office. And so, good morning from Life is a Sacred Journey. We are a podcast that reaches out every Friday morning at 8 a.m. And we talk about all kinds of things that are of interest to all of you, our followers, which we have many, many of. And we want to thank you as we get closer to the end of the year. But we always say thank you because we think it's important to say thank you to all of you for everything that you do for not only Life is a Sacred Journey, for what you're doing in the world. And so I'm just excited to be here with you this morning because I was able to do it, Felicia. I did it. Usually I have a big desktop and I'm doing it from my laptop with just a whole new system. So it's a good way to test it because this is probably the way we're going to be doing it in the future. So this is so good to be with you this Friday morning. It is a crisp, sunny morning. It is cold, but it's really nice. The sun is shining bright. I actually should open my I keep it closed because this is also on the opposite side of the room is my television where I watch YouTubes and all of that kind of thing. So I didn't want you to have to look at that. But anyway, good morning and welcome to Life is a Sacred Journey, wherever you are in the virtual neighborhood of Life is a Sacred Journey. I want to do a big shout out to Nancy Redding, who is a follower of our podcast and a dear, good bestie buddy friend. And I want to just say, if you know her, send her some wishes. She's a little under the weather, but getting better every single day. But reach out and just say, "Hey, Nance, how are you?" That I think that would be fun for her to hear from all of you. All right, let me see. I want to make sure you're there, so I'm going to go on to the Life is a Sacred Journey site and make sure that people are there, just to make sure that I'm reaching the world. I'm going to ask my trusty assistant down the hall if you would tell me if I am logged in. Okay. my my trusty assistant came and told me that we're live. It's good to be home and good to have my trusty assistant with me here at Life is a Sacred Journey and in my home and in my heart. So this week, I wanted to take a few minutes to speak to the fact that I know there are a lot of people who do not celebrate the holiday season in the same way that many of us do and don't feel the same way about it like many of us do. And so I wanted to just touch base with all of you to make sure that we had a conversation about the holiday blues. It starts at Thanksgiving, and then all of a sudden there's this burst of energy around the Christmas holiday season. And I think since we've come out of the pandemic, we're bursting more than we did before. Because people were almost for 2 seasons, actually 2 seasons, pretty much restricted in 6 foot distancing in stores. People were being allowed in. They were queuing people up outside of the stores, and so it's been a very difficult season and time for many, many people. But some people have the holiday blues, and we had our good friend Audrey White come on and talk about that. We broadcast that video or that podcast so that you would hear from a specialist on what to do and how to try to overcome those things and how to live through that season. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I have on Wednesday nights I meet with a group of incredible people, and we all kind of said this is a hard time. Things are going on in the world that we're all very concerned about. The situations that we're hearing about, people DACA coming into our world and doing different things than maybe they're doing now, and going after undocumented immigrants and things of that nature, citizens, I should say, because they are very much a part of the mainstream of what's happening in the U.S. today, doing jobs, and they are our neighbors, and so worried about that and what the result of that's going to be after January. Also, people are worried about what's happening in Korea. What does that mean to the relationships that we have in America with that country? What's happening in China? What's still happening in the Ukraine, Russia? All those things coming together. Even in Africa, there are some challenges going on there as it relates to China having a stronghold in the economic stability of that wonderful continent. And so we every day we're bombarded with this news, and yet Christmas comes. It comes, as they said in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It comes with all the noise and the baubles and the Christmas trees. Last Saturday I was at my church and we were hanging the greens on the Christmas tree and the chrismons and all of those things. But there are those who experience sadness. I am one of them. I had a tremendous loss in my life now over 20 years ago, around the Christmas season, the week before Christmas. And then I had a wonderful gift. My daughter was born on December 22nd. So there's wherever there's pain, joy also comes. Joy also comes. But you go in and out. Emotional stuff that you're dealing with. This Christmas for me will be one that will never be forgotten because of the changes that are happening in my life, and also the grief that I feel around it, and the conversations that I'm having around it with others aren't always conversations that I feel understood and supported. And I know that a part of that is being an African American woman leading an organization. And when that happens, you want it to be the best. You have that extra thing that because of how you feel you are perceived, and some of that generational trauma that lives in me and other people of color, and we bring that even with counseling, and I've had counseling on it, but we bring it into the way that we perceive things and the way that we hear things, and sometimes we try to excuse it, that it's me that is manifesting whatever I'm hearing. It's not really the person, and sometimes it really is the persons that are saying things to you. So I have a lot to work through. I have a lot to experience over the probably next year of my life. But as my friend Nancy Redding always says, we have to kind of and pick up and keep going, keep moving forward, and keep embracing the joy of life, keep embracing the spontaneity of life, and the miracles and the manifestations of the universal vibration that makes it possible for us to be the best that we can be. We have to keep moving forward in gratitude and acknowledgement of who we are, and And yes, those down moments are going to happen. We're going to experience them. They're going to come and ebb and flow. I will never, I will never overcome the grief that I have as it relates to the loss that I had at Christmas time. That will never go away because it was a very personal and close loss. So it will never go away. But I also am grateful that I had the opportunity to experience the beautiful life that left to go where, where lives go when they pass on. And so we experience Christmas not always with a lot of joy. We do anticipate the joy of it, of course, presents and I love the lights, the Christmas. I watched the New York Rockefeller Center Christmas tree getting lit up the other night. Thank you, YouTube. And it was amazing as always. And it made me desire to be back in New York for New Year's Eve. And so my daughter and I are talking. We may not make it because I have a couple of meetings and things right at the end of December, but we may go. We may go just because it doesn't matter anymore about I'm at that phase now that it's about finding joy, finding that sense of joy and stability and keeping myself mobilized in a different way. And I want to be able to do that. And it's going to be hard. I'm going to have some hard days. I know that, but I'm looking forward to the future. The future is bright. The future is hopeful. The future is filled with possibility, excitement, mystery. And yes, there are going to be a lot of changes, and it's just like going on a great hike. If when I've gone on some of the best hikes, you start off with the terrain is really easy. You're like, yeah, I got this. And then and then all of a sudden the elevation changes or the road gets a little rocky, whatever, it just changes. But yet when you get to the end of your route, you feel so just you just feel invigorated and you feel like you've accomplished something and done something that you thought was not possible. Mount Diablo is one of those. They have the hike is treacherous and it's crazy, but once you do it, it's amazing. So we have to get through the holiday seasons, and I maybe not get through. Maybe not get through is the right way to say it. I'm trying to think of a better way to say it, but living in the possibility that something good is going to come on the other side of the holiday. Something good is going to happen as you experience the tree. And I know our tree is probably going to go up this weekend. My daughter was out of town, so it's something that she handles and takes care of, and then I help by putting on the ornaments, which I still have the toilet paper ornament that's an angel. I think they both made one, so I think I have two of them. And I try to every year to fix their little wings because they get a little crinkly up. But the joy putting ornaments on a tree is memory making as well. It's memory making in a way that you just go, yeah, memories, memories, memories. So please take time, even if you're feeling a sense of loss and a sense of grief at this season. Take time to look back with gratitude for the things that you have done, for the lives that you have touched, for the moments that there was joy in your life. And if it's because my nose is itching, I'm sorry. If it's because of a loss of a loved one, think about the joy that that person brought into your life and that you had the privilege and honor. Something. There we go. There we go. My light went out. The privilege and honor of being with them, and that they had an opportunity to walk through your life. So we will think of you here at Life is a Sacred Journey. We will be coming. We have three more podcasts before the end of the year. So we definitely will be doing them. From where, I don't know. I actually thought about doing this outside, but then it's too cold. It's too cold, and so we'll figure out the next three podcasts here very soon. But before we leave you this morning, because I do have an appointment that I need to get to, I wanted to share something with you that I have. This is from a woman. She's an artist, and her name is Mary Beyer, B-E or Beer. I don't remember. Mary Beer, Beier. And she is an artist. And I bought this from Mary at the Walnut Creek Wine Festival. Now, I don't even know, it's probably over a decade because they have it every year. But I'm gonna share it with you because this is in my bathroom. Um, Personal disclosure. And it's a, let me wipe it off because it's in plastic because it is in my bathroom and I wanted to protect it from getting moisture and all of that. But I don't know if you can see this. I'm hoping you can. Let me turn it this way. There you go. All right. And it's a bird, and it reads, I'm going to hold it down this way because I can't see it very well. Throw yourself into life as someone who makes a difference, accepting that you may not understand how or why. I'm going to read it one more time. Throw yourself into life as someone who makes a difference, accepting that you may not understand how or why. And then it's a bird. So I love the symbol of the bird. One, it's one of my granddaughter's favorite creations. She loves birds. But I love that quote. And obviously, because I bought it. Thank you, Mary. But I bought it because at that particular time, I was going through another pivotal change in my life. It was divorce. And I mean, so yeah, so this is over 20 something years old. I bought this a long time back. Maybe not that 20, but a long time back. And I was still living through the residual of divorce, right? You know, it doesn't just, oh, you're divorced and then you're better. You go back into the world as a single person, not knowing if you'll ever be loved again. You go back into the world seeking a relationship that will help you to understand love in a different way. You go back into the world as a single person that people once you were able to hang out with them because you were a couple. And then as a single person, the calls stop happening. Oh, I've been there. Because they don't want you coming because you're now a single person. And then filling out forms where people want you to write down that your credit and all of that, they want to know your marital status instead of you being able to go back to single, which you are. They want to put this tag on you as divorced, which is weird to me because, you know, to me, I'm sharing it with you now, but it's over 20 something years, ago, that almost 30 now, and 26 years ago that this happened. So it's something that I can share. But living in the moment of it, and even now, I don't think my credit or any application that I fill out that makes a difference because I'm single. That's it. 26 years ago, I became single again. Divorce means, and the way we use it in these applications and the way that it's used in the world to describe an individual, is to describe your defeat. It's not to describe your victory over your own existence and who you were, that you love somebody enough to walk away, to end it when you knew that it was no longer something that you could participate in for whatever reason it is. And so this is something that I don't, I'm at that age now where I question why we do this to people. Just like right now, there's a sense of defeat that that I'm feeling around ASAP. Um, at first it was, no, you're going to be victorious. You're going to bring ASAP back and you're going to do it in a new iteration and it's going to continue to serve the community, but it's not just going to financially bleed to death. And then I had a conversation with a group of people and I feel defeated again that wasn't good enough. That response to and again, some of this is my own imposter syndrome, and I'm gonna take it. But I also know what I felt and what I heard, and because I recorded it and went back and looked at it again, it and when a woman of color speaks strongly with no when there are no other people of color there, it is amazing to me how quickly this is what I did notice that people are get that posture that that I'm defending my actions, even though I was just answering the question, right? Responding to the question and sharing my feelings. And so it was more, it always turns to, your tone or that happened twice on that particular day, actually. And I kept saying to people, but wait a minute, yes, I'm hurt and I'm speaking through the lens of being hurt. But at the end of the day, I have never been a wallflower person in my ability or in my presentation. So the tone of my voice, the bravado of my voice, my conviction of anything that I value is just the way that I'm speaking to you this morning. This is who Michelle Pope is. But because angry Michelle Pope is a whole nother gig. Somebody who knows me really knows me, knows that the angry Michelle Pope is a crazy loony goo goo. So and out of control. Somebody that piece of me who I've been trying to control for the last 2 decades and learned how to breathe and do all these things so that person doesn't that part of me doesn't come out because it's not a pretty picture. So it's sort of like I'm sitting there thinking to myself, if you only knew. Um, yeah. And when people ask you questions and then say to you, don't be defensive, but yet they've put you on the defense. Because the only time a person is asked a multitude of questions like that, where they are responding in defense of an action, is in a court situation. And so you are defending yourself, right? So it's just weird, the dynamics of communication. I guess that's how I'm going to say it. The dynamics of communication are so hard and they are so varied, and we all hear different things. And that's why the platinum rule, something that I am so happy that I learned about in the last 3 years and that I practice, it's about giving people what they need. It's not about your agenda, trying to drill down on a person so that you get what you need. It's about trying to figure out what that person needs in your drilling down so that you don't offend them. You see, that's a totally different thing than when you get so fixated on what you think you need to accomplish that you offend the person and you don't even know you did it and you actually don't care that you did it. So I look it up if you don't know about the platinum rule. It doesn't mean the golden rule isn't something that we shouldn't practice. The golden rule is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Great if you like yourself and you know what kind of stuff you want done unto you. But the platinum rule really takes you out of it being about you. It's about what does this other person need in this moment as I'm trying to get my point across, as I'm trying to communicate, as I'm trying to be in humanity with them. What is it that I need to say or do? And I think that, because I've studied all the faiths and all the different things, mindfulness, Buddhism. I am a Christian, you all know that. but I've studied just the great minds of peace and joy and everything, and it never is about you. No, not one of those areas have said it's about you. It always is about the other. And the platinum rule just expands that to help you to think, when you're in conversation or dialogue with a person. Right now, there's a person in my life who I love very, very much. And that person is going through some stuff. And so the communication that I have with that person is not as often as I would like it. But at the end of the day, I know they like to hear from me. I know that it is important that I connect with that person. So I'm not sitting here thinking, oh, I shouldn't, they're not getting in touch with me, and so I'm not going to get in touch with them. I mean, that really is a very teenage methodology that at my age, I think you just don't want to participate in that. It's about that person may need to hear your voice. That person may love, like Nancy Redding has, I think I have them here. These are all cards that I've received from her in the last multiple weeks. Okay? All of these. They're amazing. Just constantly. This is from my friend Chris. But these are from Nancy. Unsolicited. I mean, and she had to go somewhere to get them. And I keep them. They're actually usually on my table behind me, but I wanted to kind of not make it so bare behind me for the video. So there's a basket here that I'm putting them back in. But reaching out to people and letting them know, I see you. I know that you're experiencing life, because you know what? I experience life too. It's the reason I text my kids to nauseam. I'm sure there are times that, I send them Instagram things or things that I see on Facebook or wherever, little quotes, all of that it's probably coming at the most inappropriate time in their life. But there's also times that I know it's coming to them in the most appropriate time of their life, the time when they need it. It's also a time when I'm just saying to them, I'm thinking about you in this moment, in this space. I love you. Simple stuff. And sometimes they answer me back and sometimes they don't. But it's not about that. Again, it's not about me. It's about them. So we have to move. We have to move our thinking, people. If we don't move our thinking as a humanity, we're going to continue to crash into each other, causing so much pain and affliction and hurting people and leaving them in the dust as we move forward. And that's the ultimate truth. There is there's no big truth that's going to fall out of the sky like manna. The truth is, if we love each other, even those that are the hardest to love. I was in all of those meetings in my mind it was Zoom meetings. I was looking at those people and thinking to myself, I love them. I love them. I love them. Just kept saying it in my head. I love them. I love them because they exist. And didn't mean I didn't get hurt. Didn't mean that I didn't feel ignored, but it got me through the moment of losing myself and swimming in self-hatred. And one of the caregivers, I wrote, this is really a cool thing because it fits with this. I wrote to the caregivers to have one last meeting with them next week on Zoom. And then we're going to have support group meetings after until ASEB opens back up. Okay. And I apologized again for what is happening. And he wrote back to me. It was Frank. His name is Frank. Frank said, "You stop apologizing." He said, because you have done everything. And if nobody knows it, it doesn't matter. I want you to know it. He wrote these words to me, and I'm going to actually print that. I'm going to print that email. And he said, doesn't matter that they don't know it. And then he said, I know it because I know how happy my mother has been. I know what you have done. I know the hours that you have spent there. And it was just an amazing email. Now, the apology wasn't to get all of that. No, it wasn't. I am truly sorry about where we are in the history of Alzheimer's services of the East Bay. But I also think it's a grand beginning. And I'm going to keep thinking that. I'm not going to let anybody take that away, that it's not a grand beginning to something fresh and new. It's just like it takes 9 months to be born through much pain and anguish and oh my gosh. But then the victory of the birth, and when you see the child, it is an amazing thing. And so ASAP is going through a rebirth. And I'm just going to have to continue to hold on to that no matter what anybody says to me. And so I give that to you not to say anything to me about, okay, Michelle, we feel sorry for you or anything like that. No, 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 no. I share that story with you because there are those of you who are going through the same kind of thing. It may not be at your work. It may be in your family. It may be in your community, but where you just are feeling not seen and not respected and not heard. And I want you to know, walk proud, walk with dignity, walk with respect, because no one's ever going to truly understand anything that you're going through. That some people, you may have some people along the life sacred journey that will, but many, many people won't. And it doesn't matter as long as you're making a tremendous mark in the world by being the best person that you can be, that you're not going out into the world harming people, and that you're practicing the platinum rule of humanity so that we can move on as a humanity. Everybody thinks that we have, as a humanity, we've elevated and moved into this higher consciousness. And they're looking at it because of all the stuff that we've created, the innovations and all of that. But our consciousness has not moved one iota. We are still savage beings and still treating each other with a savage heart. Been there, trying to move out of that, trying to be better. So as you go out into the Christmas season, don't be rushed where you're going. Leave in enough time so you don't have to honk your horn and put your foot on the gas and drive around people and possibly create an accident. Put your phone down and look around and see into the eyes of the people that are walking around or around you. Feel their vibration. Don't rush around the stores trying to buy things for people when you could possibly make something that somebody would love even more. And take time to meditate on gratitude, because there's so many things that we have to be grateful for. You know, our pastor, my pastor, Pastor Marie, she didn't make us, but she asked us, she gave us a homework assignment to write down every day things that we are grateful for. And it's a great practice. And I think we've talked about it here on Life is a Sacred Journey numerous times. So take time to write down 1 or 2 things that you're grateful for. If you got 10, if you got 20. I watched a movie last night about sons who, it was really cool, who had forgotten to wish their mothers happy Mother's Day. So they went in, of course, New York keeps coming up for me, they went into New York and met with their sons, and the final scenes of the movie, Angela Bassett is in it. One of the sons, this young lady that's in his life, has him sit down and write down, I think it's 12 things that he's grateful to his mother for. Instead of thinking of his mother as a nuisance, he began to see that his mother was the pivotal point to many of his joys. And when he sent it to with the flowers. Angela Bassett was so overjoyed. She's such a great actress. And so she did such a fabulous job showing that expression of love. So get out into the world today. Be the best person that you can be. Don't worry about what other people think about you, because you know what? There's always going to be someone that doesn't like you because of this or that or the other. And share your victory of life with someone else. Somebody needs to hear how you've overcome something, because it's hard to live in this world. I'm telling you, I'm in my what? Oh my goodness. I'm in my 60 plus years of life. I just realized how old I was. Oh my goodness. I just realized how old I am, but because I don't think about it very much. But yeah, closer to 70 than I was, years ago. But you know what? Living in it, embracing it, and wanting to embrace it as long as I can for my family, for my granddaughter, for everybody, because I have great people around me. So thank you to all of you, Life is a Sacred Journey family. We thank you so much for supporting Felicia and I. We are an amazing team. I love her so much, and actually that's where I need to go. I need to go visit my Felicia. And maybe that's something Jade and I can get done really soon. But I want to tell you to go out into the world and have the best day. Hug a tree. I'm so fortunate I have trees that around me that I hug. Pet a cat if you have a cat, because not all of us have dogs. Pet a dog, because you know how I feel about the four-legged doggy. And I love cats too. I'm just allergic to them. That's the only reason we don't have one, because I would be a mess. And any pet that you care for, hug it. Let it know that you appreciate it, and because there's a reason that you have it as a pet, and it's a family member. So show it some gratitude and show it some love. I speak to the squirrels and the animals and the bees and the trees and everything every single time. I have a tree out front that's a fruiting tree, and you can hear the bees buzzing in it. And then there's those little sparrow birds. I mean, it has a whole family of them in there. I can hear them every morning. So I say good morning to them and thank them for pollinating the tree. And so just get in with nature, and maybe leave humanity aside for a few minutes, and then go back into humanity and take your best smile, take your best strut, and take your best self. So I want to thank you again. Felicia and I want to thank you for coming to Life is a Sacred Journey. May this day be the best day for you. And every day, make every day the best day. Like it's, start it off like it's fresh and new every day, because it is fresh and new. And if you're someone out there that is experiencing grief that is getting you to the point where you're not eating and you're not taking care of yourself, and you think that suicide is something that is your only way out, please get a phone or text 988. I think you can email it as well, and get support from people on the other line that will support you through whatever you're going through. Know that you matter, and that your life matters, and the world wouldn't be the same without you. And so have a good day, folks, and we'll see you next Friday at 8 a.m. Please hit the share button. We need that more than ever now. And let us know in the comments, no matter when you see it, whether it was this morning or down the road. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us what you think. And share in the conversation. Share in the conversation. Let's keep this conversation of love, hope, peace, not around Christmas only, but all year round. Okay? Have a great day, everybody. And thank you again for coming to Life is a Sacred Journey. It does matter. And thank you for all of you who have already told us that you want us to continue this platform. Okay. Peace.